So the next section in this chapter, Unit 11, Section 4, is surface area. So we're getting into three-dimensional figures now. Before we've been dealing with just two-dimensional figures. So surface area, when we think about surface area, it talks about everything on the outside of the shape. So for instance, if I was looking at this rectangular prism down here, if I were to take a piece of paper and wrap it all the way around the outside, it would be the area of that paper. So it's everything that goes on the outside. So to find the surface area of a rectangular prism, we use this formula here. SA, which is surface area, equals 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. So if you notice, what that's doing is when we say 2 times length times width, that means we're taking the length times the width. That's the area of this rectangle on the bottom. We're taking it times 2 because there's 2 of them. Then when we're doing the length times the height, we're doing these ones here. We're doing these ones here. So we're doing like the front and the back. And then 2 times the width times the height is going to be these panels here on the ends. And we have 2 of those as well. So we're taking the area of all of the rectangles on all of the rectangles that form this rectangular prism. We're finding the area of all of those and adding it together. So if I were looking at number 1, my surface area would be equal to 2 times 7 times 13 plus 2 times 7 times 9 plus 2 times 9 times 13. Okay, so my surface area is going to equal 182 plus 126 plus 234. So my surface area of this rectangular prism is 542 feet squared. Okay, and that's it. So that's the area of all of the outside of this rectangular prism. So like if this were, if this were a house, this were the outer dimensions of a house, you'd be painting 542 square feet. For if it's a weird house that you paint the floor and it doesn't have a ceiling. I don't know. But that's what you'd be painting. Okay. So 2 and 3 again are very similar. So rectangular prisms are pretty simple. It's when we get into other prisms where it gets a little bit tricky. So when we're talking about other prisms, we have to first find the lateral area. And so that's the area of the non-bases. So if I was looking at this triangular prism here, that would be the area of this side here, this side here, and the back piece. So I gotta find the area of those 3 pieces. Okay, and those are used by this formula here, where it's the height of the bases times the perimeter, the height between the bases times the perimeter of the base. Okay, and then we add that to the area of the bases. Okay, so the areas of the bases are these. Here's one base. Remember, the bases are the shape that is being defined by, I guess. So this is a triangular prism. So that means the 2 bases are triangles. Okay, so that means I have to find the area of the pink and then add that to the area, or 2 times the area of one of the triangle bases. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to first write out what I have. Okay, so I want to try and find my lateral area first. So I need my height and my perimeter. So my height is equal to, okay, here's my bases. Here's one base, here's another base. Okay, so that means my height is this right here, 16 meters. And then my perimeter is equal to, okay, so one side of my triangle is 9, plus the other side is 12, and then the last side is 15. Okay, so my perimeter is equal to 36. So that makes my lateral area equal to 16 times 36, which equals 576 meters squared. Okay, then I want to try, now I gotta find the area of my bases. Okay, so that means I need to find the area of this triangle. Okay, so remember the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 base times height, where my base is, if you notice, here's your right angle. So that means this is going to be your base side. So the 9 is your base side, times the height, then, which is 12. And so that's going to tell you the area of your base triangle, which is 54. So then to find the total surface area, you take your lateral area plus 2 times your base area. Remember, we have 2 triangles. There's one here and one down here. So 576 plus 108. That means my surface area equals 684 meters squared. I'm still doing with area, so it's still meters squared. Meters squared. Okay, so go through and outline your bases first. It might help you to identify what, I guess, where, might help keep things straight. So, we'll go ahead and look at 6. Okay, so remember, when I'm dealing with 3-dimensional shapes, my height is dependent on the height of the shape itself is the distance between the 2 faces, or the 2 bases. So here's one base. And notice how this is a trapezoidal prism, because I have a trapezoid base here and a trapezoid base here. Okay, now then distinguishing what the distance is between those 2 shapes can get a little tricky. I'm going to do it in blue. That is this right here. That means my height is 15 feet. My perimeter then is actually, if I do that in red, 20 plus 18 plus 12 plus 23. So that makes my perimeter 73 feet. 73. Okay. Therefore, now since I know this, I can find my lateral area. My lateral area equals 15 times 73, which is then 1,095 meters squared. Now I plug that into my formula for surface area. Oh well, I gotta find my base area first. Forgot I gotta find my base area. So I need to find the area of one of these trapezoids now. So I use the formula for the area of a trapezoid, which is 1/2 times, now when I'm talking about height, I'm talking about the height of the trapezoid itself. In this case, it's 12. And then times 18 plus 23. And I'm going to go and just solve that out there. I just realized I put meters, this should be feet. Feet's right. Now I put that all together in my surface area formula. So my lateral area plus 2 times my base area is going to give me my surface area. Of this trapezoidal prism. So what this means is if I was trying to cover, and I know this is in feet, so this is be a lot, but if I was trying to cover this shape in paper, I would need 1,587 square feet of paper. Oh, excuse me, to cover it. So 5, 7, and 8 need to be completed. And then let's look at cylinders. Cylinders is a little bit, they have their own formula as well. So the lateral area is equal to 2 pi times the radius, 2 times pi times the radius times the height. And then the surface area is equal to, here's your lateral area here, that plus 2 pi r squared. So 2 times the area of the circles that make up the cylinder. So pretty self-explanatory, I think. I go ahead and with cylinders, I just put it all together into one formula because my R is 11, my H is 26, and that's really my only variables I have. So my surface area is equal to 2 pi times 11 squared plus 2 pi times 11 times 26. Put that all together, I end up with 242 pi plus 572 pi. I'm going to save multiplying out the pi for last, which then gives me 2,557.26 yards squared. And so that's the surface area of this cylinder. If this were like a grain silo and you were trying to build it out of tin, you would need 2,557.26 square yards of tin. It's not a very big one, but you know. That's the point of surface area. It's finding out the outside of a three-dimensional shape. And then there's some application problems on there. So go ahead and work on surface area of prisms and cylinders, and then we will go from there.